of this country are quite correctly holding this government accountable to secure the country and to make you feel safe. You're losing the war against the criminal element, but you hold the government accountable, and the government must be held accountable. The country is awash in blood. There isn't a news item in this country where there isn't a good chance that a major part of the news is who killed who. We take the advice from you, the people, and when you have had enough of what we have done, you know exactly what to do. You know what to do.
Proudly saying this. He says, if the government cannot deal with crime, then the government is part of the crime. What do you say now, Mr. Rowley? The parents. You don't want to blame parents.
When PM Rowley was in opposition, he said, anytime a government resorts to blaming the opposition for its failure to deliver on their mandate and their responsibilities to the people, it is a clear sign that they have accepted that they have outlived their usefulness. Why hypocritical PM Rowley is not out of office by taking his own advice? Obviously, he even lied to himself. When PM Rowley was in opposition, he said, anytime a government resorts to blaming the opposition for its failure to deliver on their mandate and their responsibilities to the people, it is a clear sign that they have accepted that they have outlived their usefulness. Why hypocritical PM Rowley is not out of office by taking his own advice? Obviously, he even lied to himself.
Proudly saying this. He says, if the government cannot deal with crime, then the government is part of the crime. What do you say now, Mr. Rowley? What do you say now, Mr. Rowley? What do you say now, Mr. Rowley?
If you happen to see and know when politics going wrong, with facts and figures prepared to show, it's better to bite your tongue. To them political boss, who the people trust and get double cross, you're an obstacle to be removed at any cost. Oh, a social conscience is really very dangerous to your health. The awesome strength of the powers that be most certainly will be felt. To tell them that their priorities and performances on the par, it's poetic to hear them describe to you who you are. First of all, you're a megalomaniac, a power seeker, a crazy or a crack, troublemaker. And if you tell them that the economy is no longer in full bloom, then you become a prophet of doom and gloom.
They call me the witch doctor from a land afar, specialized in obia. The real name is Papa Bois. When the drums begin to play and I ring me bell, everybody clear the way, I'm casting me spell. Roger, come Roger, Roger Unu Badanga.
If you happen to see and know when politics going wrong, with facts and figures prepared to show, it's better to bite your tongue. To them political boss, who the people trust and get double cross, you're an obstacle to be removed at any cost. Oh, a social conscience is really very dangerous to your health. The awesome strength of the powers that be most certainly will be felt. To tell them that their priorities and performances on the par, it's poetic to hear them describe to you who you are. First of all, you're a megalomaniac, a power seeker, a crazy or a crack, troublemaker. And if you tell them that the economy is no longer in full bloom, then you become a prophet of doom and gloom.
begin to play, and I ring me bell. Everybody clear the way, I can't see me spell. Roger, come Roger unu badanga.
There was no VAT on 7,000 food items. Vote for women with sense and common sense and empathy and heart and the will, because plenty men try to manhandle her, you know, because they feel she's small, but she's little, but she talawa. She talawa. She not easy. She not easy. Yeah, that's a Tobago too. She talawa. You understand? So this crime affects your education. Our schools have become breeding grounds for criminals. Health facility, they're going in there and kill you. Right, as happened last week. But more than that, there was some they killed in Mova, I think, or Belmont. And then they ran after the ambulance into Port of Spain General Hospital to make sure they're dead. Man, you could only do this hell up in Harlem and Dusty and what they call them, JDX, some kind of moves, when you have people who you don't care about. When you have a government who will make no sense. Who a government who is a waste of time. All right? So I am telling you, nobody in Trinidad should be asking you who to vote for. All right? If them asking you that, they really ain't making any sense. Do not argue. Okay? Just do it. So go and shout it from the top of San Fernando Hill. From Mount Hololo, that is long overdue. It is time that we all do something. It is time that we do something. And send the PNM packing. Then and only then, the PN is the cause of everything that is wrong in Trinidad and Tobago today. And that is not a hyperbole. That is the truth. They themselves saying so. As a matter of fact, it have some who in Rowley cabinet who saying, we wish they could lose, just to get rid of Rowley. Right? But they're saying so. They say we got grind for the 5 years and we'll come at you again in 2030. But I am telling them, when UNC go in this time, they ain't coming out. All right? So I must reference briefly the people making supernormal profits. Some of the profits declared by some of our conglomerates, who have locations in what is referred to as the press area. Even if they have no businesses there, they have employees who come from these communities. I asked how many homework centers, school support programs, life skills centers, sporting and leisure activities are they sponsoring on any consistent basis. You have to go and beg on your knees. Beg on your knees, right? Lose your pride and your dignity to get $500 from these people. But they could find taxpayers' money to go up to Miami to see dead people. All right? You know what kind of indulgence that is? That you are saying that in order to prosper in your company, you have to go and see dead people. When if you come down from your ivory tower, right there in Mova, 4 dead in 4 days. And they're begging somebody, please see me. We in the UNC, we see people. Kamla Prasad Bissessa sees you. Her heart bleeds for you. And this is the only reason she's still fighting the good fight. And I'm telling you, when an election is called, she will be the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So in wrapping up, you would have seen where, I think yesterday, your tongue was somewhere about telling PNM women, don't take God out of their thought and vote for the UNC, because they will lose all the social program for women and children. I want to ask Stuart Young tonight, which program are you talking about? Which program? Five men were murdered right next door to the constituency office. He never went. Never went to see them. 5 men were murdered there. That is a woman and children problem. Those were mothers. Them leave wives, they leave mothers, they leave children to suffer. That's the kind of problems we look after. Kamla Prasad Bissessa, a policeman also was murdered in that. She had a policy where a policeman who died in the course of duty was getting $1 million. That, of course, is too much money, right? When they took away laptops, saying that children were dunce head, who do you think they were affecting? They were putting the people who were vulnerable, who couldn't afford it, in the back of the line. Now 50% of our students who sit in SEA failing in math and English. Where are they going to go next? They are creating a pipeline to the gangs. And that is why we say, of all the enablers of gang violence and crime in this country, you just have to look at the government. You don't have to look far. Because how could you take away laptops from children And there are people who laugh at that, who were happy, who clap when he talk about it. Now, in countries that make sense, they have AI-generated learning. They have STEM programs, just basic in primary school and secondary school. How are we going to compete? STEM is science, technology, engineering, math. You're doing that from 6 years. How are you going to compete with that? When you can't even get a laptop, they feel it's too much. When they refuse to open early childhood center, who they affecting? Mothers and children, women and children. So when when you want to move up in life, you want to have a better opportunity, it's women and children. So when Young rehearsing and preening for his next step up the P&M ladder on the backs of those same mothers and girls, owned and enabled by his benevolent benefactor, Keith Rowley. Sometimes when I see what I write, I have to laugh. So I got used for this one. So I reiterate that all Rowley is concerned about is coat of arms while you cannot buy food. I'm still receiving requests, I said, even from fathers who cannot purchase school books for their children. So do something, because we may have come on different ships.